At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Happy Friday to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Coffee with Krueger every weekday morning at 6:30. First checking in this morning, Kenny Elwood. Good morning from Kenny. He said thanks for coming. You know, he had a great event for his new restaurant, Divine. He had a kind of, I don't know if it's necessarily a fundraiser, but kind of a soft opening and allowed many of the first responders to eat there for free yesterday afternoon and evening. It was a great success. So congratulations, Kenny. I know a lot of people are excited about your actual opening. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's this Saturday, right? I think you're opening up on Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's today or if it's Saturday, but I think I read somewhere it was Saturday. We'll see. But anyway, take a look at a live shot. We're looking right now this morning out at Sundial Bridge, and you can see clear skies. Although there are some clouds out there this morning, you can see, I did see a couple of people out there on the bridge. Some people like to get out there bright and early to get out there and enjoy the beautiful bridge that we have here in Redding. Take a look right now on the coast. This is in Trinidad, and we are seeing, looks like mainly clear skies out there this morning as well. So not a lot of fog, although there is some fog for some of those mountain valleys here. And, so Kenny just confirmed to me that Divine, which by the way, Divine, I was very fortunate enough to be able to check it out last Sunday. The food was amazing. My wife and I went. It was absolutely amazing. Great service. They've got an amazing staff over there. The chef is amazing. The chef is actually one of my son's friends from cross country team. So kind of a small world. So much fun. But Saturday at 5, Divine will be having its grand opening for the public. Be sure to go out there for dinner. And I tell you what, you will not be disappointed as far as I'm concerned. It's where the old View 202 was, right? And now it is Divine. And I think they're going to be a great success because amazing, amazing food. All right. Well, what do you say we get to the forecast in your Krueger's Quickcast at that for your Friday, February 6th? Let's get you right into it, shall we? The Krueger's Quickcast, if you're new to Weather NorCal and Coffee with Krueger, Quickcast, what you're watching right now, it's just a quick look at the forecast for the day. If that's all you need, you can go on with your day, but then we go into more detail in the deeper dive forecast. So right now we're looking upper 30s, low 40s in the valley, 20s, 30s for the higher elevations, low to mid 40s right now for the coast. Now there's some patchy fog, Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, even along the coast. And there is some cloud cover out there this morning. There were some clouds that came in from the south last night. We're seeing some of those this morning. You clearly see those clouds over Northern California. But that'll all be shifting eastward today, so I do expect to see more sunshine. In the meantime, you look at a swirling area of low pressure up at the upper left corner of your screen there. I always want to go with like north-northwest. So it's the north and west of us. It's over the Gulf of Alaska. That is what's going to be heading our way, eventually bringing everyone, yes, everyone a chance for some rain, but some very high elevation snow. But for today, right, just a couple of clouds. That's it. We're looking at another beautiful spring-like day. Temperatures upper 60s, low 70s in the valley. Mainly 60s for the higher elevations and for the coast. But look at this. As we go into Saturday, look at this. You're starting to see chances for rain begin to move in. I'm thinking places like Del Norte County may actually see a little bit of wet weather for your Saturday. It'd be nice if we could get some more snow up in the mountains, but that's not going to happen with this storm. In fact, the ski park, which is at 22 inches right now at the top of Douglas, 37 of the 44 trails are open. They are having an event this weekend, I believe on Saturday. Problem is, I think that there's a very good chance it could be rain at the ski park. That would be devastating because I know that they're really trying to hold on to what they've got. But if we get rain at the ski park, that would just be devastating. So let's hope we can at least get that snow level down to 5,000 feet, but it looks like it's going to be borderline, right? 5,000 to 6,000 feet, most likely above that. And of course, roads are all clear there. Taking a look right now at the estimated snow totals, yeah, that's not good. Yesterday was a little more aggressive with at least less than an inch, but at least a trace of snow. But looks like most of that's going to, and you look at the summit of Mount Shasta, that's not even a lot of snow. Rainfall chances best will be on Sunday. Next week, look at next week, Monday through Thursday. Tuesday is really the only day that I think we could see a chance for some wet weather, but that's not even guaranteed because we're seeing some pretty big discrepancies in the long-range forecast models. We'll see. Again, there's a look at this. Why did I have that twice? And why did I have that twice? Interesting. Okay. Gotta love computers. Here's what we have here for today. Temperatures upper 60s to low 70s in the valley. Mainly 60s for the higher elevations today and right around 60 for the coast as well. Tonight, cooling off, nothing unusual. You may need that light jacket, maybe heading out to dinner this evening, especially in the mountains, but even the valley might be a little chilly even as we go into tomorrow morning. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. So here's what we got. I think everyone has a chance for rain on Sunday. Monday, a break. Tuesday is the day that we're going to have to watch. Because, and we'll get into this in the deeper dive here in just a little bit, but the two main models we look at, the American and the European. The American forecast model is saying, hey, it's going to be wet on Tuesday. I mean, like rain, good rain. The the European forecast model is the exact opposite. It's saying, no, we're going to be dry. So that's why I've just got the word chance in there. Now, as you go north, places like Siskiyou, Modoc County, I'm going to keep you dry. But again, places like Susanville, Eastern Mountains, maybe a chance on Tuesday. But again, everyone's seen that chance on Sunday. But for now, I've got it mainly dry through next week. So that's the Krueger's Quickcast. If that's all you needed, have a great day, right? You just want to get out there for the day? But stick around. We're going to have more on next week's pattern, what we expect in the long range as well. We're also reintroducing drought in Northern California. What? Remember we were the entire state, California, out of the drought? Now, the latest drought monitor is saying there's a part of Northern California that is the very lowest level of drought, but still there nonetheless. Lake Oroville, there you have it. We have a few clouds out there this morning. Kind of hard to see on some of these cameras because it is still nighttime, so it's hard to kind of see things when it's getting dark. But there you can see very clearly there. Highway 99 at Neal Road. Still some of those clouds out there this morning. Those clouds are not producing any rain, by the way. Taking a look at Red Bluff, still looks a little dark there. Can't really see any clouds. This is Sutter Buttes coming up. No, excuse me, Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. Can't really see much there either. Just a little too dark to see if there's any cloud cover, but there is. There you can see on Sutter Buttes the cloud cover up in the sky. We're not really seeing much in the way of fog. Excuse me. Let me wash that down a little bit, a cup of coffee. I meant to update that. That is frozen picture from yesterday morning. Taking a look at Bald Hill West, you can see still socked in with that fog. This is Hoopa Valley that we're looking at, but look above that. You see some of the high clouds that we do have. Soda Ridge this morning, beautiful, right? So when you do have those clouds out there like that and the sun is coming up, that can make for a beautiful sunrise picture, which, by the way, I want to remind you that if you don't have the Free Weather NorCal app, I'd love for you to get it. Number two, you can share your photos from the Free Weather NorCal app. And if you do it, you just may be lucky enough to see it on my 6 o'clock in the morning update and live right here on Coffee with Krueger. So be sure to do that. Let me see your sunrise, sunset pictures. Beautiful pictures nonetheless, right? Fort Jones, looks like there was a little fog this morning. That looks like it may have burned off. Or not burned off, but kind of mixed out. You can see that there is some of that cloud cover up in the sky, though. And that's the cloud cover I was talking about. Even up in Lassen Park, you're seeing that cloud cover. And still plenty of snow. You see all the footprints there. I'm wondering if that is from snowshoeing or whatnot, but Kind of cool nonetheless. Hey, today is Friday. We got our Pet of the Week from Haven Humane Society, sponsored by Grange Co-op this week. We meet a little guy by the name of Bernie. I don't know if it's named after the town Bernie, but the dog this week, the Pet of the Week, is Bernie. Check it out.
Hi, my name's Heather, and I'm a volunteer here at Haven Humane Society in Anderson, and this is my boy Bernie, my hunka Bernie love, my squishy baby. He is a 4-year-old Staffy Pit mix. He is happy and playful and a cuddle bug, and he loves kisses most of the time. Bernie has had some really good training with his previous adopters at a facility. So he knows lots of things. Sometimes he just needs to be reminded of what those are. He can be a little hard-headed. Cats are his nemesis, and he really likes to chase squirrels. He's been great with kids. We just did an outreach, and he met children and he met adults and was around other dogs, and he was amazing. He loves to lean into people. He wants your attention. I feel like he will be a great couch potato. You can sit on the couch and watch rom-coms together or whatever your choice of movie is. I think he'll watch anything. Bernie is a sweetheart. He's a lover. He is a boy who deserves a fluffy bed, squeaky toys, grass to roll in, and his person. So if you think that Bernie might be the one for you, he is the one for me. Then please come down to Haven to meet him. And if you're not sure or you don't think he's the one for you, I still suggest you come down and meet him. He's going to change your mind.
Seems like a pretty cool dog, right? Well, if you're interested in Bernie, of course, you can always go to Haven Humane Society. They'll be glad to help you out. Once again, I want to thank Grange Co-op for their sponsorship of Pet of the Week and the Animal Family segment in general. So be sure to check out their new store. Well, new-ish store. I mean, they've been around for several months now, but they are one of our newer sponsors here at Weather NorCal. So glad to have them on board, and so glad to have them sponsoring the Animal Family segment. We're checking in with some of you this morning. We've got one of the regulars, Tim Moore, saying, "Good morning, Mike Krueger. Weather NorCal, last day of spring-like weather." Well, not necessarily. Tomorrow, yes, it's going to be slight changes, but still another spring-like day, even for tomorrow, believe it or not. I found this comment interesting. Had to put it up. Good morning, KRCR and Mike from Sacramento. No, this is not KRCR. I haven't been with KRCR for now 3 years, and I'm not from Sacramento. But, interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Oh, we got a nice day coming in from Gilbert Burns. Said, hey, it's a nice day. Yeah, and it will be another beautiful day. Wasey, who is saying I'm from KRCR. So who said, good morning, KRCR. This is not KRCR. This is Weather NorCal. Saying, beautiful morning here. And then we got Curtis Brown saying, good morning, Mike. Still need to water outside plants for now. So we got Tim saying, watching the live stream on TV and on Facebook. Well, how cool is that? Hey, by the way, just like Tim's doing, it's really cool. What I love about what I'm doing is, many of you have said over the years since I've left TV, you said, I miss you on TV. Well, you don't have to. Like Tim here, you can watch me on your big screen TV, whether it's from the YouTube app on your smart TV, or if you have a Roku, you can download the Weather NorCal app on your Roku and watch the 24-hour streaming channel there as well. You can also watch the 24-hour streaming channel from the website. You can watch it on the app. I love this. Check it out. There we go. There's the live channel right there. Let's get it going. There we go. Live channel right there on the app. Be sure to check it out. How cool is that, right? So you got a live streaming channel on your app. I mean, the live stream is available everywhere. So thank you, Tim, for watching the stream and for making those comments on Facebook. Well, let's get ourselves ready for the deep dive. Before we do that, the headlines getting into that. We got above normal highs and dry through Saturday. So like Tim was asking, is going to be another beautiful spring-like, the last spring-like day? No, tomorrow we've got another one of those. But by Sunday, that's the bigger changes. Cooler and wetter. I think everyone's going to see a chance for rain, just some a lot more than others. Next week looks cooler. But chances for rain next week? Confidence is rather low. The deep dive forecast is going to address all of this. What it looks like for our chances for rain, not only this coming weekend, but next week, and then of course beyond that. And the deeper dive forecast is sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Hearing isn't just about sound, it's about being part of every moment. This isn't your grandparents' hearing aid, it's a smart hearing aid for modern life. It's Bluetooth enabled, easy to control from your phone with your personal prescription, delivering the clarity you need. All that technology at half the cost of competitors, so you never miss a moment worth hearing. With our Here For You program, you get personal care and support every step of the way. This is what quality care sounds like.
All right, so the temperatures right now, it's cooling off a bit. You see out in Redding about 38 degrees, 39 for Corning, 44 degrees in Chico. We've got those 20s, 30s for the higher elevations, low to mid 40s for the coast, so nothing unusual. So here's the big picture. What we've got is a storm system right here. See the swirling area of low pressure? This is what I've got my eyes on for Sunday. Beyond that, it doesn't look very promising for much in the way of wet weather. I want to start with the long range. What we're looking at here is what we call the GFS. It's the American forecast model. And we talk about the two main ones, right? The American and the European. So let's take a look, first of all, what it looks like on Sunday. There it is. We're finally seeing that push of moisture push through. And I think everyone's going to see that rain. Snow levels mainly above 6,000 feet. It's just I think most of the rain will be along the coast. And then as it pushes eastward, you know, the rain begins to break up a little bit. But everyone's going to see that chance, including the valley, but even then it won't be that much. Now look at this as we go into Monday, Tuesday. All right, so this model wants to take a storm system and push it through. Now you'll notice it's mainly, if you look to the north, there's not as much activity here. But the valley, the coast, even the eastern mountains, seeing the potential for some wet weather. Now the cooler air will be in place, so we could see some lower snow levels if this materializes. And I say that because, as I mentioned, the European forecast model, if we were looking at the exact same time frame, it would say, nope, completely dry. In fact, both models, well, really the European forecast model is saying completely dry for all of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday. The GFS, the American forecast model, has us dry Monday, but Tuesday has this, Wednesday, Thursday, and even mostly Friday looking dry as well. It's Saturday that both models agree that we're going to see a system come in from the northwest and possibly bring us some wet weather on Saturday. But this model, the GFS, is taking this area of low pressure and has it a little bit off to the west. The European forecast model has it more over here. So all of this rain is up over Northern California based on the European forecast model. And by the way, we're looking at Saturday, February 14th, so a week from tomorrow. So the timing of this, the placement of this, the intensity of this storm system, all has yet to be determined because we're still ironing things out. And we're going beyond 7, 8, 9, 10 days, right? And then behind this, we actually have the potential maybe of another ridge of high pressure building in. So yes, we are breaking away from the pattern that we're seeing now and have seen for several weeks to start off February. And yes, we're going into more of an unsettled weather pattern, but unfortunately, we don't have anything significant really heading our way. So let's take a look at this weekend with Futurecast. So today, any clouds that we do have out there this morning and even this afternoon, it's pushing eastward. And we're looking at mainly sunny skies and dry conditions today. Now, Saturday, look at this. You see that? So as we go through the day on Saturday, we may see a chance for some showers developing in Del Norte County, maybe western Siskiyou, maybe northern Humboldt. But everyone else looking dry and still plenty of sunshine, especially for the valley eastward. So there's that next push. So as we go into Sunday morning, we're going to be looking at showers. In fact, Saturday night, Sunday morning, the north coast seeing some off and on light showers, nothing significant. Still dry to start off the day for everybody else. The main band of rain right here. If you want to argue and say it's an atmospheric river, go ahead. I know that that is a term and a phrase that people hate, and they call you an over-exaggerator. But by definition, yes, this is tapping into some subtropical moisture coming in from the southwest, and there's plentiful moisture to work with. Now, you can see here, the bulk of the rain for the coast looks to be sometime around midday, early afternoon. Decent rain, look at that for Del Norte County, but not as much as you head to the south. But even by early afternoon, most of Northern California is still looking at dry conditions, of course with the exception of the north coast. Then we go through the afternoon, chances begin to increase. Now we're beginning to see some shadowing in the valley, and again, just a brief description of that is rising air equals, with moisture available, equals more cloud cover and rain. Sinking air is stable atmosphere, you don't see the rain. So what happens is, especially as these storms, they move from west to east, they move up the mountains, and that's why we squeeze out all the moisture here for the coast and the mountains west of the valley. Then that air sinks as it goes down the mountain, so we tend to see less rainfall in the valley. It's called a shadow, a rain shadow, because of all this rain here, and then as that storm system moves eastward, it looks like it just kind of hops over the valley and then reestablishes itself over the eastern mountains. And why does it do that? Well, again, because what happens is sinking air in the valley, not as much rainfall. But then it goes back up the mountains, the air begins to rise again, and it squeezes out more of that moisture, so you see heavier rainfall for the foothills and mountains east of the valley. So that's Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Now Sunday night, we're still seeing some of that rainfall off to the east. And by the way, take note, yes, we've got some snow on the map here, but that's mainly above 6,000 feet. And Sunday night, maybe some light showers for parts of the valley as well. Then it's gone. Look at that. Monday morning, maybe some leftover cloud cover, but it's dry Monday afternoon, Monday night, and most likely even into Tuesday as well. Rainfall estimates. Well, there's the bullseye over Del Norte County, a little bit less heading to the south. And as we typically see, right, the heaviest rainfall is here. Then we see less off to the east, a little bit of a few light bullseyes just east of the valley. And of course, the valley, I do think, could see some measurable rainfall, but you're only talking a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall at most. Different forecast model. I just want to show you that the footprint seems to be the same. Heaviest rainfall to the north and west, a little bit of some heavier rainfall to the east, less rainfall over the plains and over some of the higher elevations eastward, and less rainfall in the valley as well. All right, so just kind of wanted to show you kind of the two here, two different forecast models, really kind of giving us that same footprint of where that rain is. Snow. Squint your eyes, really you have to look closely. Some of the Marble Mountains, Trinity Alps, some of the higher elevations. There's Mount Shasta, the mountain. By the way, I mean, that's only a few inches of snow. Warner Mountains, taking a look at Lassen Peak, which is right there. We just don't have, no, I'm sorry, that's not Lassen Peak. Lassen Peak's right here. But there's Lassen Peak. Not much snow, is there? So, snowpack, not looking great, is it? What are the normal conditions, though? But this is going into middle to latter part of February. Now, some of the models are indicating that as we get into the middle of the month, towards the end of next week, that we could see a wetter pattern move in. Other models, not so much. So I'm not 100% sold on this, folks. I did see a post on social media from an armchair meteorologist. Those are people who just, anybody has access to these forecast models, and, they can go out several weeks and go, oh, this is what's going to happen. No, you can't look at one model and say, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. So please pay attention to your sources on social media in particular, because there are a lot of armchair meteorologists who don't know what they're really talking about. And they tend to go as matter of fact with a forecast model looking out 2-3 weeks in advance, saying this is what's going to happen, and it doesn't happen 2 or 3 weeks later. Just be aware of that. So yes, the Climate Prediction Center does have it wetter than normal, but again, I'm not 100% sold at this point that we're going to see a ton of rain toward the middle and latter part of next week. Yes, I think there are some chances, and that's something we'll be monitoring closely. But one thing I do know is that our temperatures are breaking away from the 70s in the valley that we've seen. If you've been enjoying it, great. but you're going to be enjoying some cooler weather going into next week and even beyond. We're talking upper 50s, low 60s on average for the valley. All right, your 10-day trend, there it is, right? So there it is. So remember, it was at Tim? Yeah, you were asking, oh, last spring-like day? No, we got that again here tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover, mainly dry minus Del Norte County, but another spring-like day for your Saturday. And then now, yes, this is what I was talking about. Upper 50s, low 60s on average through all of next week, and then another dip in our temperatures. This right here, by the way, is that sign of that potential for some wetter weather for not this weekend that you see right here, but for the weekend after that, possibly. But this may change, we'll see. I meant to update and show you the latest rainfall totals for the season. Forgot to do that, but last I checked, almost all of Northern California is still above average for the season. But where we have been below for the season so far has been in Del Norte County. Now remember that, because we're going to talk about that here in a second. But look at the lake levels. We talk about the snow pack being well below average for the season, but our lake levels are good. Our rainfall totals are good. However, remember several weeks ago when we were talking about all of California is out of any kind of drought. Well, with the latest drought monitor that came out yesterday, look at this. It's decided to inch its way back into extreme northwestern California. Everywhere else in California out of the drought. But due to the lack of rainfall we've seen so far, late January, early February, we're back into the lowest category, which is basically just dry. Now, as I mentioned, the rainfall estimates, or the rainfall total so far for the season, are mainly above average, but where we've been below average has been Crescent City. And that is why it's been kind of inching its way back down into Del Norte County. But again, everywhere else outside of that. Kind of interesting. We'll see if that works its way down even more in other parts of California because we just haven't seen much rainfall. Still have that beach hazard statement due to the risk for sneaker waves here for today, so just not a good idea to be on the beaches. Still some fairly high wave heights for today, backing off though by the time we get into tomorrow morning and maybe picking back up here by Saturday night and into Sunday. So your marine forecast, south winds at 5 knots, waves from the south at 2 feet at 4 seconds, and from the west at 10 feet at about 16 seconds. Here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Let's take a look at that. Trinity County temperatures low to mid-60s, mainly dry through Saturday. Now, Sunday, you got the rain. Now, what I'm doing here in the 7-day forecast is I'm putting the word chance in there because we can't ignore the fact that the GFS is wet on Tuesday, but we also can't ignore the fact that the European is dry on Tuesday of next week. So I just want you to be aware that that's something we're going to have to continue to monitor. If you have outdoor plans on Tuesday, keep a close eye on the forecast. Keep it right here at Weather NorCal. We'll keep you updated. And of course, over the weekend, you got Chase Wilson. He's a good, reliable forecaster. He'll let you know what's going on, too, for next Tuesday. Temperatures upper 50s, low 60s out towards Siskiyou County. Take you out to Modoc County. Temperatures upper 50s, low 60s. Chance for rain on Sunday, by the way, for Modoc County is going to really hold off until Sunday evening, Sunday night. Eastern Mountains, also a Sunday evening, Sunday night type of event, although later in the afternoon, places like Bernie, Viola Mineral, but you head east of that, most likely in the evening and overnight for your Sunday. Today, though, of course, dry. For the valley, I'd call it upper 60s for most of us in the south end of the valley. This will include Chico with a high of about 69, and then temperatures are dropping. Once we get into Sunday, temperatures will drop, and they'll pretty much stay down as we go to Monday through next week. Up to the north. Still around 70 for your high in Redding, as well as Anderson, Cottonwood, 69 out in Red Bluff. Here's your 7-day forecast for Redding. There's that chance for showers on Sunday. And then, of course, the showers will be isolated. I mean, there is going to be some wet weather, but not a lot in the valley. Monday, it's dry. Tuesday is that day we got to watch, see what happens with that. Tim is asking, why are the models so different? Well, so there are many, many, many different forecast models out there that we look at. But the two main ones that we tend to kind of hold some weight to are called the GFS. It's the American forecast model and the European forecast model. Forecast models are basically, they're just very complex mathematical equations. So you take the current conditions and you then put a mathematical equation in there based off of all kinds of things. Atmospheric conditions, winds, humidity levels, how much moisture is available, things that create instability or keep the atmosphere stable, high pressure, low pressure. All of those things are put into this equation. And there are different offices. For example, the GFS is basically produced by the National Weather Service. And the one European is somewhere in Europe, right? So everybody has their own, ways of kind of tweaking those mathematical equations. And those models, they're continually changing that mathematical equation to kind of make it more accurate, right? That's essentially how that works. So based off of that, they can just tend to have different solutions. Now, over time, in the last 10, 15, 20 years, the European forecast model has always been a very reliable forecast model. And the GFS has been kind of developing its stages and has been getting better and better. And quite honestly, over the last few weeks, I think the GFS has been more accurate than the European forecast model. The GFS has basically been saying, we're not expecting a lot of rainfall at all ever, and that's pretty much what's happened. Whereas the European was like, no, we're going to see a ton of rain, and then we didn't. That's why, again, if you're looking at a social media post and someone's saying, look at all this rain coming in our way in 2 weeks, and they're looking at one forecast model and they're not talking about others, you need to question that. You need to question that. Good question, though, Tim. We've also got Barry saying, good morning. How you doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Good to see everybody else this morning as well. Well, it's Friday. I'm ready to sign off. Are you ready to sign off? Although I'm sure many of you have to go and face the day. It's a Friday. One more day of work, right? By the way, see that back here? I'm going to go get it. My son made this for me. He's in a class right here. He made this for me. How cool is that? You got the mountains, you got a road, and that's my new car. That's my Tesla he made. Really cool. He was thinking about maybe even putting my Weather NorCal logo right here as well, but he didn't. But yeah, it's cool. I love it. So yeah, I have it there in the background. Just wanted to kind of show you that. Proud father moment, right? But he's very talented in that department. It'll be interesting to see in the engineering department what he ends up doing. All right, that's going to do it for us this morning. We're going to take a look at some cameras and the works here. I hope you all have a great Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend. Get ready for some wet weather here on Sunday. Not a ton, though, for the valley. And next week, not looking all that promising either. In the meantime, let's take a look at some cameras, wrap up the show, and get you ready for the weekend. Have a great one, everyone.